So for those of you, matter of fact, I'll do it this way, and then I'll wander over there and show you guys. So I've got my stance on this uneven terrain here. I've got my stance. I've got my, my feet are set up. So I want to be, and these are made up numbers, I want to be 55 to 60% of my weight on my forward leg and 45 to 40% on my rear leg.
Today's video is brought to us by Barrel Block. Barrel Block is an excellent dry fire training aid that we've used for years and recommend. It provides an easy to see indicator that your firearm is empty and safe for dry practice. It comes in all service calibers and can be installed and removed in seconds without disassembling your gun. It's an inexpensive, easy way to give more margin for safety, so go pick one up today.
All right, not on the balls of my feet, but I'm biasing forward. The reason I am doing that personally, now part of this too is I try to have the same stance for everything. If I am shooting a carbine, I am shooting a pistol, I am knife fighting, I am boxing, I'm about to run away because I'm afraid and I'm out of weapons, whatever, I try to have the same stance. So this isn't as important with pistols that don't recoil much, but I like to practice it because it's just a good habit that has served me well. So I like to have a slight bias to the forward leg, but that doesn't mean putting my chest and my center of gravity out to where I'm getting up on my toes. What that means is I want you to watch that everything's neutral and I'm centered up. So how I'm going to distribute that weight, I want you to watch my belt buckle specifically, okay? And you'll be able to see this better than anybody. And I'm going to load it. You ready? Watch my belt buckle. Which way did my belt buckle go?
Your strong side?
Well, my off side. All I did was slightly exaggerated the bend in my front knee and drove my knee out towards my toe a tiny little bit. And really what my hips did was shifted this way. But since this foot is in front, my weight's biased forward. Why do I do that? Well, if I'm 50-50, and whether it be a rifle, a pistol, or whatever it is, if I'm perfectly 50-50 and I start running the gun and for whatever reason I get rocked back a little bit. Now your pistol's generally not going to be doing that, but if you're just off balance and you're 50-50 and all of a sudden you're like, and then you're burning it down, not a good position to be in, right? If I'm at 55-45 and I do end up like I'm running a hot string or I'm running, I'm running a shotgun, whatever it is, and I try to do this for all things, so you can apply this to especially heavy recoiling shoulder-fired weapons. If I'm at 55-45 and I get rocked back a little bit, where do I rock back to? 50-50. And frankly, I'm not going 75, it's just, I'm still balanced. All I literally am doing is just loading this knee a little bit. That's all. But then when you start pushing, I settle back in, instead of going, because how many of you, they start pushing and you basically are going from 50-50 to 45-55, 40-60.
Just preloading a little.
If you preload that knee, I'm sorry?
I was just saying it's hard to recover that once
Yep.
you're off balance.
Yeah. Whereas if I'm slight, because I can do this, now obviously if you have physical infirmities, but for most able-bodied people, adding an additional 5% load to that front leg, you can stand there for a while before you get tired. Hopefully you're not shooting that long in a civilian engagement in particular. And then you settle back into 50-50 and you're good. And they let go, and then you're like, oh, hey, I'm back to 55-45. So everything else you've done, and then we're going to work on that specifically. I want you to get set up and then literally just load that front leg, and all that's going to look like is just bending that front knee a tad and shifting your hips towards that leg.